Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to the new home of my new network, StreamPunk Entertainment. And I am back here. It's been a little while. It's been 2 weeks. It feels like an eternity, but I'm back. And I am looking towards talking Philadelphia sports with you guys. But I'm not going to do it alone. As I promised you guys, I said to you guys for a long, long time for the past couple of weeks, and my phone's been blown up. My phone is still blown up. Who is your new broadcast partner? People have been saying, you got somebody who is it? Who's your mystery tag team partner? And I said, I have something up my sleeve. I've been around this gentleman for quite some time now. The first time I met him in the press box, he's something special. He's got a lot of talent. He knows his stuff. I don't bring any idiot on this network other than myself. When I look in the mirror, I found the biggest dope. So there can't be no one bigger dope than me. But when I run into this gentleman at the Wings press box, I said, me and this guy are clicking. And we just hit it off like that. He's been quite the gentleman. So, guys, let me introduce to you. He's known as the Wildwood Wild Man himself. He is my man, John Coyle. Good morning, John.
What's up, man? Jeez, I mean that's an entrance right there. I did not expect to be that big of a guest, but I appreciate it. I'm glad we are here. I'm actually set up right now on the Ocean City Boardwalk in front of my store, All Campus. It is a gorgeous fall day, and I am excited to be on with you talking 4 for 4 Philly sports. I got a lot to say. I got a lot to rant about today. There's going to be some broken hearts coming this way.
Well, you know what? Let's start it off there, John, because I was going to talk to you about broken hearts, but up until this point, I can't be mad because I'm going to start it off there. A certain hockey team yesterday kind of won me over. What's up, Mitch? And guys, if you are checking out this program, please share it out. Guys, good morning there. Gary Group, our guy who runs all lacrosse all the time, he will be on tonight. Catch him at 9:00, all lacrosse all the time, talking everything lacrosse. You mentioned Gary's name. You're good and golden as far as media coverage. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about our Flyers because up until this point, they had a team they faced yesterday, a Minnesota Wild team, an undefeated Minnesota Wild team coming in at 5-0, and this Flyers team that looked dead in the water thumped them. A Coots show with a hat trick, John. So John, I'm going to ask you, what was your take from yesterday's game?
So I was very disappointed in the first 2 periods. We literally were winning 2-0, which is great, but we were getting dominated. We had 3 shots halfway through the second period. That is something that needs to change. We should really work on the power play, and I'm going to get to that. I have something very, very special for the fans with that. But the power play needs to be a little bit better. I don't know if it's net front presence that we don't have. I don't know if it's mucking in the corners and getting loose pucks. I don't know what the fix is, but we need to find a way to get more rubber on the net. That being said, Pat, they had a substantial throwing of the puck in the third period at the net, and everything was clicking. Net front presence was huge. You just mentioned Coots. He got a lot of dirty goals. That's what we need from him. He's the only one on our team that I think can do that. Our defense was getting the pucks through finally. TK needs to hit the net a little bit more. I think he's been missing the net a little bit more. Listen, goalies save over 92% of the time for a reason, right? You just have to get the puck on the net. They're going to save it, but the rebounds is what wins in the NHL. The dirty goals are what wins in the NHL. Flyers need to be a little bit better on that aspect of it.
Yeah, and listen, and you're right. The Buck and Grinders up until this point, like I said, I chalk this as a loss because when I saw that, when they played against the Caps, I only seen 40 minutes of hockey. I have yet to see 60 minutes of hockey put together
No,
from
we
this team.
haven't.
And for them to really, really play well, and again, they really just shot the lights out yesterday. I mean, again, you're getting outscored. I didn't think this team had it in them. And of course, it takes like a Coots leadership. Set the tone for this team.
Yep.
You are the captain. The way he was getting redeflect goals yesterday was something good. Rebound goals. He really, really grinded in front of that net yesterday, and he's been doing a better job of hanging around that net. And that's what you need from your captain. Of course, Nick Sealer would follow up after that. Again, TK being double team TK with the ultimate great vision that he had, finds Nick Sealer wide open.
Yeah.
So this team's starting to put together a little bit. Again, a great win from a tough Minnesota team. And let me ask you, where are you with Sam Harrison as far as goaltending?
It's our number one problem. It's going to be our number one problem. There's talks today that we're bringing up Kozlov. I think that's how you pronounce his name, right?
Yeah.
I think there's talks about him getting a start today. Me and you are going to the game, so we're going to be
Yes.
there. Hopefully, hopefully this kid can be something special that is everyone's expecting from him. I would love to see him get the start. Goaltending is going to be our number one issue. I don't think it's going to get fixed. There's no move to be made. We're not going to go out and make a big trade. We're not going to make it out and go get a big splash name or anything like that. This is our guys. I don't think they could do it for a full season. That being said, again, we were on the West Coast to start the season. 4 games. That's a brutal schedule. Us coming back 1-2-1 from that, I was thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. Then coming home, you're going to have a lull. You're going to be tired. You don't have the enthusiasm that you might have coming home for a home opener because you already played 4 games, right? I thought that was a little unfair of the NHL to schedule us out west for 4 games, maybe 2. Give us LA and Anaheim or something like that, but don't give us all 4 out west. They come home for our home opener. So I was looking for a down on the Flyers with that, and it showed. I think we're clicking now. I think the offense is going to click from now on. I don't think goal scoring is going to be a problem with this team. Mitchkov looks like the real deal, right? TK has turned into the player that we have expected him to be. Maybe he gets 35, 40 this year, right? There's no other guy on our team that's going to put up that many, but I think we got a lot of guys that are going to put up 15. We're a real deep team.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. We are a deep team. And look, when I look at this Flyers team, again, just look like when all is lost, like you mentioned earlier in your statement, this team was on the West Coast, and time for these guys to kind of bond a little bit out there. First game looked okay, it's only game 1, so you have to take that for consideration. And then they played very, very well. After they got shellacked. They gave up 31 goals up until this point, And then yesterday, again, like you mentioned, is Sam Harrison would be the huge issue going forward. I had a previous interview with Joe Watson, and he said, "Listen, with this kid not having that 1A goalie to follow up, you're asking and putting a lot of stress on him." So and then you see him for Terrell, he's okay. Again, he's just a puppy from the KHL. He's 6'8", and he's still. Now, the other day, he kind of made adjustments, settled in the second, third period, I thought, against the Caps. But you're still asking a lot from a puppy who's trying to, what's up, Steve? What's going on? If guys catch me and Steve earlier, if you didn't, you go back and we talked some Union Soccer guys catch all attack, attack and third, right here on the StreamPunk Entertainment. But yeah, you're dealing with a puppy. He's 6'8". And listen, he has all the potential to be a monster, but once he figures it out, hopefully he'll figure it out soon, because we all know in sports, this is a sink or swim kind of business. Maybe like I said, there's a lot of potential. Like he could be a wall back there, but I don't know if his height's kind of going to hold him down scientifically to make some some stops when they're zimming by you at 99 miles an hour. Again, you're playing against.
Yeah.
Yeah, KHL doesn't have Ovechkins, the Crosbys, the Steve Stankoses. They've this is where the big boys play right here in the NHL.
Right.
So
There's a lot of flaws I see in his game. I mean, 6'8", he's not using it nowhere to his advantage right now. The guy loves to sprawl. I think they said it on the broadcast. He plays more on his belly than he does on his skates. I think he just needs to learn a lot more techniques to be an elite goalie, even a competent goalie right now. For us going down and already pulling at straws to try to bring up our guys from the Phantoms to play goalie is a sign that the organization's not happy right now. That they do see the flaws in him, and they gotta work them out. I'm hoping they don't send him down. I don't know how that's going to look if Kozlov does look good today. So I am a little worried about that because confidence is the biggest thing for a goalie. You have to have confidence to be a goalie in the NHL. You're going to give up some soft ones, and you got to brush them off. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot from Fedorov. I think that's how you say his name. I know it's a weird name.
Don't worry, I'm used to butchering names.
Yeah. We're going to find out a lot from this kid if he really has the makeup to play here in Philadelphia. I do have to say one point. I'm getting a little off topic here about the Flyers, but I wanted to. This goes out to the fans. Anyone who is listening, this is directed straight to you. If you're a Flyers fan and you're going to the games, I am sick and tired of listening to you.
Whoa!
On the power play, shut up. If I hear any more shoot on the power play when we just enter the zone, I am going to murder somebody.
Whoa!
Yeah, Pat, it's a travesty. I just brought up the stats, and I don't know why any NHL fan doesn't know this. If you're going to the game, you should know this. Goalies save easy shots.
Right.
If there's no traffic in front of the net, they're going to save a shot. I don't care how hard you shoot it. They're going to save it. It's their job. You have to have net presence in the power play. I don't want to hear shoot, shoot, shoot from the fans just because they have an open lane. It's not how it works. The power play will be okay, guys. Mitchkoff will right the ship on the power play, just like Giroux did when we had him. He's going to be that sideline guy that's going to make the right choice with the puck. Let him work. Please stop screaming shoot. It's the number one thing in sports that annoys me more than anything else.
Yeah, and listen, it's funny because you bring up an excellent point because one thing, up until this point, the thing that's irritated me more about Flyers fans is that with them being on probably like I said prior to this they were on a bad losing streak, and I heard this is a rebuild year. And I've heard that from former co-hosts and stuff. This is a rebuild. Can we start with the rebuild? I mean, we've been rebuilding since Lindros, right? And we don't even have Elmer's glue in our hand to think about a rebuild. And when I look at this, look at the Travis Konechny's tenure so far. He's been almost 10 years. What have we really?
I think it's 8 years. Yeah,
8 years. What have we rebuilt with him with? What do we have? I mean, we got rid of Provy. I was all about that move. I thought his,
so was I.
I thought we signed off for a decent defensive player, which he kind of stunk. And then there was no goaltending to go with it. And of course, last year the Carhart situation arose, and I thought Danny Briere handled it well, but you didn't bring in a serviceable backup. And I get it, your cap space and all that stuff. So when people tell me, oh, well, and look at last year, right? They go on a crazy run. They were in the 6th seed up until they lost Carhart, and then you put too much stress on Sam Harrison. But nothing was really done this summer to fill in that gap. And again, you're bringing in a puppy to kind of to be that role with a lot of potential, being 6'8", and you're hoping that he becomes a monster between the pipes. Like I said, I don't know if his height and stuff is going to hold him down from the
Right.
speed of this game. And again, like I say, KHL and the AHL, KHL's, the rinks are bigger, all that stuff. The the NHL is a different world, a different beast. I mean,
Yeah.
again, you're dealing with the top tier across the world that's here, and I don't know if he's got what it takes right now. Like I said, it's bad when this defense. And again, like I know, like a lot of Flyers fans are excited for the big win they had against the Wild, and they should. But look at the bad side of it too. Your defense gave up 5 goals. Like,
Right.
and then like you mentioned, you got the back-to-back tonight against Montreal. That's, I mean, listen, they picked up a huge win themselves over the Blues, winning 5-2. And again, they got guys who can play, guys like Nick Suzuki, who's got 9 points for them. He's
He's a heck of a
piece out
player.
there.
He's a heck of a player.
Yeah, and listen to him. So it's going to be interesting to see what this Flyers team can do moving forward. I expect a better. What's up, Kyle? I expect a better game from this game, from this team tonight. And hopefully, this is something they build off of. But like I said, you got to look out for Montreal as well, because they're kind of hot, riding a hot hand. So I mean, listen, they got a little bit of a travel from St. Louis, or no, from home to here.
Right.
So you're hopefully they get some tire legs and so forth. So, but yeah, like I said, how do you feel about tonight's game?
I like the Flyers tonight. Listen, I like the Flyers moving forward. There's been a history of this organization not putting the pieces together all at the same time, right? We either have a really good offense and our defense is really bad, or we have a really bad defense and a really good defense and our offense is slacking a little bit. We've never had a goalie. I can't remember the last time this team's had a goalie. I mean, we all thought Carter Hart was it. Circumstances happen, and now he's not with us no more, rightfully so. We need to shore that up at some point. And like I said, we're reaching for straws tonight. I think I haven't got the official word, but I think Kozlov's being brought up and going to be the guy tonight. So.
Okay.
Let's hope that works out. But we just set Jet down. I think that's a bad move. I wanted to see this kid play the whole year. Who are you bringing in? Nicky Delorier? That's who we're replacing him with. Why?
Right.
Give the kid a chance, right? We're not going to be strung up when it's time for him to sign a deal. We're going to have cap space. Who is commanding money on this team? Who are you giving money to on this team? Mitchkov. That's it, right? There's no one. Maybe Jamie Drysdale, but I don't think he's a true number one. I don't think we have a true number one. Nick Sealer is to me is our best defenseman right now, and we already got him locked up a little bit. So if you're worried about saving years on the contract, I think that's a stupid reason to send this kid down. He's the only one with speed. He's a center that can center the second line. He should be on this team. I don't think we can rely on Scott Lawton to be that guy. I don't think Morgan Frost is going to be that guy. I think we need to let Jet develop into that guy. That's been an organizational problem for a long time with this team, is not recognizing the talent that we have and putting it all together at the same time. Something happened with Cutter, right? And that was a debacle all in itself. I know that might not be the Flyers organization fault, but they're getting blamed for it, as they should. You make a trade at center, right? That Cutter is a center who is a big boy who can play in this league, and he is going to be a superstar out there in Anaheim. We need a center like that, and I was hoping Jet could have developed into that by the end of the year.
Yeah, and listen, and like you said, though, like they do have some bread. And look, Mitch Koff is going to make this team better moving forward with the offense. Yeah. He's definitely going to make it better. Again, just the way that they came about their business yesterday was just something unique and just something they needed. I mean, this team has been, up until this point, has been getting a beat down after beat down. I mean, you gave up 6 points to the Capitals. just kind of lost their ways. And part of it was expected. Hey, listen, it's game one. We'll find out what this team is. They usually start off really, really hot in October, and they kind of fell off. And I gotta give kudos to the broadcast, and I think they on the radio broadcast, and they mentioned the Flyers have yet to ever in their franchise history have yet to lose 3 straight home games to kick off the
Home
season.
games, yep.
Yeah, so I gotta give them kudos for that. And again, way to make a stance. Just came out and you fall. You gave one of the better teams in the league a fight. So it can say, you know what, we can do this. We can make news.
Yeah.
That we can be a sleeper team in the NHL. If they could just play, straighten up the defense, Sam Harrison's got to be better. There were some funky goals that got by him. The first goal by Faber was off a toe, was a lucky one. But then after that, it was kind of you could have made some.
He missed on a couple. Yeah, he missed on a couple. But like you said, this is a win that can snowball. This is a win that can give you momentum going forward. It was a win that you had in the beginning, right, with a 2-0 lead, gave it up, and then actually were down at the end of the game and still fought back. So this is one of those special type of wins in the season that you have that can really put the momentum and put the confidence in. Like, hey guys, we can do this, right? We can win now. We proved it against a quality team in Minnesota that we have the ability to come back and win. Let's never get down on ourselves. Let's never be out of the game.
Yeah, and like I said, this like you said, this could be something you could build off of. A win from yesterday afternoon. Great win, gritty win. You can build off this. Bring in Montreal. Hopefully they got fatigue legs. And take advantage of it. Then if you can win with your backup in there, take a huge win. Maybe I'm seeing like a 3-2 win kind of a deal. Goes to overtime. I think the Flyers can pull this out. And then you can start, like I said, let it snowball, right? And then you go on a little bit of a run. But like I said, you have to take care of business tonight. We are about to be joined by an enemy from enemy soil.
Uh-oh.
He's going to join the show a little bit, and so forth. But look, we're going to transfer. We'll talk a little Sixers until we get him on. So let's get into this Sixers conversation, John. John, this team has now lost 2 in a row, probably 3 after today.
Yep.
John, a lot of Sixers fans feel like that this team is being held back by their perimeter play. And that's why I named the show Franchise Player, because we see that Mitchkov, he's going to be a franchise player. He's probably going to be for the Flyers for a year. But our current franchise player with the 76ers has a little it's I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the management of load management, but he should be out there grinding it up with his team. And I see him every day standing on the sidelines, just chilling, getting a free ride to Toronto, a free ride to Indiana. He should be out there with his team. Same thing with Paul George. What do you make of the 76ers team?
So I have 2 aspects of it, right? I'm going to give you the good first. The good is, this is what I wanted to see. This is what we asked for as Philadelphia 76ers fans. I don't care about the regular season. We're going to make the playoffs. Almost every team in the NBA makes the playoffs now with the added 2 teams. Mm-hmm. We're going to be a top 8 team, 10 team in the East with Joel or without. If you can sit here, Pat, and this organization can guarantee me Joel Embiid will be good going forward. I lost you there. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm here.
That Joel Embiid will be good going forward into the playoffs and be healthy. I'm all for this. This is what we want. Playoff Joel Embiid needs to be healthy. It's the only chance this team has of being successful. Paul George, I don't care what he is. Joel needs to be 100% when it comes down to it. Now the bad. As a fan, I'm a little pissed off because Joel Embiid won a gold medal with Team USA, didn't blink an eye, said, I want to play, I want to go, I'm going to be the guy. He's the top 3 player on that team, top 3 player in the world. And you go and you dominate the world. You win the gold. Now you come back to my team that I'm paying to see you, and you say, I need load management. I need to sit. I can't play the home opener. You better have a serious injury. I hope the NBA does an investigation. I hope they find out something. Because if this man doesn't have a real injury and they take a draft pick from us or they give us a fine or something from this investigation, he should get roasted in this city.
Well, so Kyle's checking. He goes, MB carried this team better than Simmons ever did. Injuries are catching up with him though. Yeah, listen, and that's so I get it. He's your franchise player. You want to make Rob Hefner from Vegas checking in. He says, "Good morning, Pat. Sixer off to a lousy start. MB is a bum." Well, listen,
Pump the brakes on the bum word, yeah. Pump the brakes.
And listen, Rob Hefner checking in. Listen, Rob, give my man John Cool here a follow. Give him a friend request. Great guy. So listen, I'm with you about Joel Embiid. When you say when healthy, he's the best basketball player in the world. However, like you said, if you are a paying fan and you watch this guy dominate the summer, telling you everything you want to hear about wanting to play for this town. Listen, it's exciting, but when you go there and you find out, oh, he doesn't want to play or he's not hurt. Mike Lara, my broadcast partner, what's going on, buddy? He goes, should have traded him 2 years ago. He's a bum. Listen, Mike, I'm not going to disagree with you at this point. And listen, me and Mike for years on EOP fought like tooth and nail about Joel Embiid. I was on the defend Joel Embiid mode. But the guy, I'm not going to say he's a bum because we know what like I said, when healthy, he's best. But the injuries that are starting to stack up. And now, like I said, I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the Sixers protecting themselves because they know he can't give you full 85 game season without getting banged up. And they rather, like you said, put him in bubble wrap and save him for the playoffs and let it be unleashed. But listen, injuries are part of the game. Whether you save him for the playoffs, save him for now, it doesn't matter. Like injuries are going to take place on the guy. And you saw that the Knicks last year in the playoffs weren't afraid to go out. They knew he was at 75%. They took liberties on him. They weren't scared of him. So, and again, you're now messing with your fan base because again, you pay for parking, you pay your ticket, you pay for food, and all clothing comes up to almost $100. And you want to see this guy to be unleashed because you know what he can do, and then he's not there to show up to play. So now, and now you look at it from the player's aspect. Okay, you look at it from the opponent's aspect. Okay, what do we got to do? Just shut down Maxey. What other options do they have? And you see the role players. You got aging role players like Eric Gordon, Caleb Martin. Those guys. Like again. And Kelly Oubre, the other night on Friday, dropped 28 points. Great. But where's the perimeter shooting going to come from? They were 9 for 26 on Friday. That's not going to be good enough. Kyle checking is the FO only ever surrendered to him with the pass and prime, overhyped, overpaid. Yeah, support. And that's the problem. Again, and like I said, last summer, he said, I'm only giving Sixers a window. Like, and no offense, but when I look at the Sixers, they don't have. I mean, not Sixers. When I look at the Boston Celtics, they don't have a Joel Embiid, and they're not sweating about it. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks don't.
Yeah, they don't have a Joel Embiid, but they do have 2 superstars on that team.
Right.
So I'm not knocking them.
No, and like I said, they know how to play, team basketball. Like I said, the
Right.
Sixers brought in Paul George, but like I get it, like the world's hyped and pumped up, but and Paul George had a southern, outburst, of fountain of youth last year, but I can't see him being that much a credibility to this team. And maybe I'm just being too harsh on the Sixers. Maybe there's still a little something left in the tank. But to me, I'm like,
I guess.
eh, eh, I'm okay with it. So,
I'm the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way with the Sixers. I am okay with it. Right now, I'm taking the seat back. I'm saying this is the path that you have now chosen, right? Sixers organization have now chosen this path to say, hey, we're going to give you what you wanted and try to make Joel Embiid last to the playoffs, right? It's a theory. You said it earlier in your statement right here. Injuries are going to happen. I think injuries are going to happen whether you rest or you don't rest. That's just me as an ex-athlete and an ex-player. I got an injury whether I was tired or whether I was 100%. Injuries are going to happen. If you believe these injuries that Joel has incurred in the playoffs in the past have been because he is not 100% going into the playoffs, okay, sit him. Let's do it. Let's run this year out that way and see how it works. But if it doesn't work and Joel Embiid still comes into the playoffs injured, hobbled, or he's not 100% physically with endurance because he hasn't had court time, or he has to knock off the rust, I'm not going to stand for it. He needs to go. The organization needs to go. They need to change up something. This is my last chance for the 76ers.
and you know what?
You gave me a path, and that's it. I'm going to go with it now.
Hey, you know what? It's funny too. And guys, listen, if you are near all campus store, please go see John. He is live recorded from all campus store, guys. And where's your store exactly located, John?
Yeah, well, Ocean City Boardwalk down here in New Jersey, right between 10th and 11th, right next to Castaway Cove, the rides, right next to the big Ferris wheel. Come on, check us out, guys. Anyone who watches the show, I always hook you up with a nice discount. Let's go get in here and check it out. It's a beautiful day to be on the boardwalk.
Well, listen,
What's up,
if
guys?
listen, if you guys are down on the boardwalk, come see my man John. He is losing his hair about this Sixers stuff. Kyle checking in again. He goes, Sixers have a full team, Knicks have a full team. They the 76ers are Embiid, 76ers and Embiid, and who? A 30-year-old Kyle Lowry. Love the guy in the class of mine back in Nova freshman year, but isn't it the same? Right, isn't it? Right, you have veteran players, Kyle Lowry, and Eric Gordon, all these older guys. I mean, like I said, and what was one of the big things that the Sixers had going for them last year was some bench pieces. You had Ricky Council that was a decent player, but again, you're trimming their minutes. And like I said, I need to see better 3-point playing from this team. In the past couple of games, it's
Right.
not it. The opposing defenses, all they got to do is focus on Maxey. Again, what's Maxey like to do? Take it to the rim, hit a pull back, jumper, and that's it.
Right.
I mean, you can focus on shutting that down. You got oh, my man, Joe Sullivan. What's up, Joe? Because Sixers are dead.
Sixers are
Dead, man. Inexcusable that MP can't play the first game. I'm good with him sitting on the bench for a back to baskets, back to backs, etc. But the first game, he's better than being hurt, or they are a disgrace. Yeah, listen, Joe, you bring it, and Joe, thanks for checking in, guys. That's my man Joe, great guy. Again, you can check him on the Solar Squad tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Great dude. Again, the 76ers in a whole and the franchise, and again, this is going to hurt. It's like the 76ers only hurt themselves it's like a girlfriend, right? They're in love with, they can't let her go because she meets too much. She can cook, she can do it, but she's too when it comes to doing vacuuming and laundry, and she's getting in the way of your things here, getting right of the goals that needs to be that need to be done here. And the 76ers are damaged goods, and it sucks. Kalchuk, and he goes, when Embiid goes down, they have nothing. The difference between him and not having him is insane. Exactly. Not having, because we
Yeah,
don't know what Joel Embiid could do. He could draw the 301 defenders and still crash boards. We know he could kick it out to the wide open guy. He makes everyone around him so much more better. All those good
right.
things, he's a 7'3" point. He could play like a point guard. He could shoot the three. We know the things he could do. It just sucks that he's just too banged up. And now, in some ways, the 76er fans feels like they're holding him or he's holding them hostage. So,
Let,
again,
let me give you a little breakdown, though, here, Pat, on how I envision the NBA to be. All right? It is a star-driven league. It's not like football. It's not like baseball. It's not like hockey or any other sport. We have the best guy. All right. Everyone knows it. Joel Embiid is the best guy when he's out there. All right. You talk about Boston, you talk about the Knicks, you talk about Milwaukee. They have a better team. Yes, no doubt. They have a better team. But we have the better guy. That
yeah.
wins in the NBA. You give me that guy healthy in the playoffs against the Jason Tatum and that Boston Celtics team, I like our chances. We have not seen that guy healthy in the playoffs his entire career. That's the issue. It's not the depth of this team. It's not that other teams are better than us. It is literally that issue.
And to your point, I mean, I just remember the one year that they played extremely, extremely well. But it was him and Harden. They both fell asleep in Game 6 and 7, and the Celtics go. It seemed like the Celtics of all teams you can't be falling asleep on, and they played again,
Right.
head and shoulders. But anyway, listen, we will continue this Sixers chat next week, hopefully for the better. Right now we have a guest in the back from enemy. I call him. He stands on enemy soil. Because he is a Devils beat reporter. Let's bring on our man Jim Bringer, if I'm saying that right. Jim, welcome to the show, my man.
What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Good. Good morning.
What's up,
So you're on with Pat and John. John's down OC, Maryland, right? OC, Maryland, OC, New Jersey, on that old campus store. But listen. You're a guy who covers the NHL as a whole, as a league. We just had for a good half hour talking about the Flyers. What are you seeing from this team on the outside other than yesterday?
Look, I like what they're doing there, right? They're building a good, solid team, good foundation, nice young kids. And I want to throw this out here to your audience. Look, I spoke with John Tortorella last year a bunch in regards to the reputation that he gets about young players, right? Like, that's the reputation going around about how, he doesn't like to play young players and he's hard on the young players. No, let's get this out of the way right now. He loves young players. He wants those guys to show off their skill. But the biggest thing he asks is just go play hard. Like, that's just all he wants is go play hard. Look, I like what the Flyers are building there. Yeah, Lubchenko goes down, right? He goes down because send it back to junior. That's fine. That's okay. You're still a little bit away. Like, last year kind of maybe felt like it was an anomaly. You were right there all the way. But let's be realistic. I think the Flyers still maybe a year or two away from actually competing for playoffs. And that's okay because you want to stick to the plan. You don't want to sell the farm. And I like what they have there. Look, I think the biggest thing for this Flyers team, what really hurt this team, was Carter Hart and the whole incident with Team Canada. Like, that was your guy. You knew who was your guy. And that's kind of thrown a monkey wrench into this thing. But I like what I'm seeing. I mean, yeah, wild game with Minnesota yesterday. But other than that, I mean, yeah, Washington games weren't great. But this is a young team, and you have to realize that that is the thing. And I hate that phrase, trust the process. I like
we all do.
I like stick with the plan or stick with your rebuild or stick with what you got in the room. That's kind of a hockey thing. Just stick with what you got because it's going to bring it to the promised land. I like what the Flyers are doing. I love their talent there. Owen Tippett, one of my guys. I like him. Always been a fan of him. Mitchkoff, I mean, everybody knew who he was going to be. Everybody knew who he was going to be when he got drafted. Good to see him in Flyers colors, to be honest, because there's a team up north that wants their guy that they just drafted from Russia over here too. So there's a lot of young talent. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of young talent in Russia that we're not able to see on a world stage anymore to scout because they're not allowed to play at the World Juniors right now.
Right.
Jim, let me ask you a question. You now took a look at Sam Harrison. What's been your plus and minuses about the guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the rebound control to me is the biggest issue with Ayrton. Like, he's not controlling the puck as much as Carter Hart would have. But again, I saw Carter Hart for years, and when he played for Team Canada at the World Juniors, so I could see him a little bit more. Ayrton, outside of the games he's played against New Jersey, and other games, again, he's still a young guy, and he was thrust into a role that maybe he wasn't ready for yet. And I know everybody was praising him, but that you have to get that in your mindset that you have to be the guy, and you don't have to make every save, but you have to make sure your team stays in it. You can't give up. The biggest thing for any goalie is losing confidence, and you can't just give up an easy one that hurts your team. But if you make the big save, that helps your team, and I think that's what the Flyers just need is just that save.
Yeah, and listen, look. As much as it pains me to see the Devils have success. I mean, you guys are now having some, So walk us through a little bit about Mr. Hughes' game. What are you seeing from him?
I mean, a guy that I think that's still struggling coming back from an injury. I know he had shoulder surgery last year. He's still dealing with the shoulder, a new system, right? He's dealing with Sheldon Keefe now. You're asked to be playing a little bit more defensive hockey. And the thing for me is, and I said this when he was drafted, I think that, I mean, I don't know about that. We'll get to that in a minute because that's not really the issue to me. But with Hughes, he's just not a center in the National Hockey League. Like I've been saying this since the day he got drafted. New Jersey should have gotten a center, turned him into Patrick Kane, and you have that Tane and Cave situation that you had in Chicago because Jack Hughes to me isn't a center. But that's me. I'm in the minority in a lot of things. I also was in the minority about how good the Capitals were going to be this year. But, what do I know? I just covered the league. But anyway, look, Jack's just got to start finding his game and, not realize it's not about him. You got it. It's a team game. Points are going to come. Yeah, be smart defensively. Don't lose your assignments. But if they could just get him on the wing and get him a center, I think he would explode a little bit more. Take away the defensive responsibilities that he has as the center. Because right now, let's be honest, the only guy the Devils have at center is Nico Hischier, who's taking 60% of the draws, and you can't have that. I mean, again, another guy that got caught up in the Team Canada scandal, Michael McLeod. He became one of their center guys. Right. That's like a big loss for this team. So to me, I think Hughes just got to focus on his own game, not worry about everybody else, and it's going to come.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys were on a run for a little bit. I mean, you guys were, I believe, at 5-2 now. You made a couple losses coming in a deal. But I'm going to go touch back though with a little bit of with the Flyers, and like I said, I just want to get your expectations. I think the biggest weakness for the Flyers is the defense. Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, I definitely saw it last year. I saw it the minute they traded Sean Walker. I was this team without Sean Walker, Nick Seeler. I mean, that combination last year was really, really good for the Flyers. Yeah. I understand it's a business. I understand the trade deadline. You can get assets for a guy. Maybe you get it, and then expectations get higher. So I understand what Danny Briere was trying to do there. Like you want to get assets for a player. But you could clearly tell that missing a guy like Sean Walker is huge, and it's not just what he brought, right? Like you're seeing what he's doing with Colorado, and he's just a good fundamental defensive defenseman that you need on a championship team. Not saying the Flyers are at a championship level yet, but that's the guys you want on your team to build around.
Yeah, listen, Jim, I'm getting so tired. I just said before you came on, I say, every time that the Flyers lose, it's like, their excuses, the sheep around here say, we're rebuilding. Well, since I've been, a little guy, since the Lindros days, they've always start to rebuild. And yet we can't find Elmer's glue to start rebuilding. I mean, I look at that Travis Konecny years, and I've yet to see them build around them. So, I get it. I get the strap cap space, and I get it. Not having a goaltender, and I get it. So my question is, how do you feel with the Mitchkoff era? How do you think that Danny Barrera is going to approach this?
That's a great question. You look at it, right? You bring it, so you move out Cutter Gauthier, right? Jamie Drysdale's there as well, and I forgot to mention like Ryan Ellis not like ever playing a game for the Flyers, like just again decimates a defense. Like that's like really tough. You really didn't really see what he could bring there. And you bring in guys patchwork there, but you have Mitchkoff there, right? And Owen Tippett's there. Bobby Brink, he's a good player. Like they actually have the pieces there, like Paling. And you keep connecting. Morgan Frost, like Fabry, you have the nice mix of veterans. Couturier, Konechny's still there. Scott Lawton's there, but you have those young guys, and those young guys are taking more of a prominent role with the team. You have the Mishkoffs, the Bobby Brinks, the Tippett's, the Frost, the guys that are building on their seasons from the year before. Then you have on the back end, you have a guy like Jamie Drysdale, right? Now, okay, that's a nice foundation for a Flyers team that. How many years we say, okay, when is it going to come? When is it turning around? Like, what do they have in the farm? Well, you're seeing what they have. They've drafted pretty decently, and they have more guys on the way. So I think that's a huge thing for the Philadelphia Flyers that you look at the roster. Okay, yeah, well, maybe we're not winning, but you got to see what the talent's doing. And to me, the talent's stepping up and playing well, and that's what I'm liking out of this Flyers team right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they just took a hit. Cam York goes down. They're going to miss him for a little while. But they got a big game tonight. It's Sunday night hockey for here in Philly. They got Flyers, Montreal going to take place. How do you feel like again, Flyers come up that big win yesterday? How do you feel like the Flyers could handle themselves against a Canadiens team that also came off a big win 5-2 over the Blues?
I think the Flyers got to play their style hockey, right? Like play physical against a team that's a little bit smaller up front. I think that's how Philadelphia wins games still, right? Like everybody goes back. It's not like Broad Street Bullies days, but not even though maybe the Lindros days of the Legion of Doom, but they still play a physical brand of hockey. And they finish checks, they forecheck hard, they're on the top players. But the Canadians have a small forward group, if you look at it. Right, Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky. Yeah, Slavkovsky's a big boy, but he's still putting on weight. Doc is a smaller player. Flyers got some big boys on that team. You play physical against a team like that you don't allow Montreal to use their speed coming through the neutral zones, try to slow them down. Then the Flyers can play well. I mean, again, both teams coming off a big win, like you said, Saturday. Both teams needed it, right? Both teams really, really needed it. Again, goaltending, slow it down. How do you bounce back on a back-to-back? How's the pace of the game? I don't expect 12 goals again. I think because both teams played, I think it's probably going to be a lower scoring game. But come out, see how that first 10 minutes, how are your legs coming off a back-to-back like that? I think that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, Jim, we would join you. We appreciate you joining the program here. You're my first guest as far as my new network here at StreamPunk Entertainment. Guys, check out my man, Jim Bringer. Did I butcher that or did I say it right?
Oh, you got it close. It's Beringer.
Yeah,
you got it close. It's better than some places, I'll tell you that.
Well, I can give myself a little Barry Horowitz here. Thanks. But listen, guys, give my man Jim a follow. Give him a follow. Where can they follow you at, Jim?
Yeah, get me on Twitter X at Jim Beringer, Jersey Jim 33 on Instagram as well. Full Press Media, all that, all the stuff. Follow back. I interact with everybody. Really cool. Just any questions you got, just let me know. I'll definitely answer them. Trying to stay on top of the league everywhere, and always a pleasure to be on here. Talking hockey with guys on a Sunday morning and bringing my insight. Even though, like I said, I mainly cover the Devils in the New York area, but I always keep an eye on the rest of the league. When I see young teams like the Flyers coming along, they're a team that I want to watch and keep an eye on.
Yeah, listen, we appreciate it. Guys, give my man Jim a follow once more. He's a really good guy. Again, he interacted with me. We see my little guy playing with some puck. So
that's it.
There you go.
So, Jim, we always appreciate you having on, and thanks so much for hopping on with us.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, boys. Have a good one. Enjoy your Sunday.
You too, my man.
Take care, you too.
Take it easy.
All right, guys. That was my man. But listen, we cannot finish out the day here, John. One more little aspect we got to get into. We have birds and Bengals and birds.
It is a Sunday. That means one thing around here in Philadelphia.
Yes. Bird Sunday. And John, listen, first one you got by with your nose hairs beating the Browns, but however, you put a beat down on the New York
Yep.
Giants. What now? I feel like the Eagles cannot win because it's like, well, you only beat the Giants, and well, that's supposed to
Right.
happen. But you know what? Does it move the needle for you, John, that the Eagles beat beat up a bad Giants team? Again, a well beat down. And how do you feel about the Birds going into Cincy today? Are you feeling? Hey, listen, since he's been catching fire as well. They beat the same two
Right.
teams that we did. Or are you ready to get back on with this Eagles team?
Well, I'm definitely ready to get back on with this Eagles team. They were predicted to be good this year for a reason. They're a good team. We might have the best roster 1 through 53 than any other team in the league. With the beatdown of the Giants, anyone who says it's just the Giants, that's what they're supposed to do. Why do we not praise them for that? You're supposed to beat up bad teams. That's what good teams do. You win the games you're supposed to. You fight hard against the teams like we're going to have today. Cincinnati is a good team. I don't expect the Eagles to win today. I think it's going to be a loss when it's all said and done, but I do think it's going to be a good game. I do expect Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith to have a good game. We can throw on this team. Their secondary is pretty weak. They give up a lot of yards and touchdowns to receivers. I think Jalen Hurts could have a good game today, should have a good game today. On the flip side, Joe Burrow is going to have a good game too. Jamal Chase is going to have a good game too. How do we slow that down? I don't know. I see it as a kind of a gunslinging game. Hopefully, the Eagles can come out on top. I think it's going to be a little tougher than people think, though.
No, and you're right. And my man Mike checking into the show. He said it's since he doesn't have an O line, Kyle thinks it's going to be close.
We don't have a D line though.
Right, and that, of course, here goes Mike. Mike being in one of the Eagles sheep. He thinks that the Birds are going to win 34-21. Wow. I think he's a little bit of I know I love Mike, but he's a little bit of a he's got his green sunglasses on. So
that's a homer. Yep.
That's yes. I've dealt with that for many years. No, but when I look at this, Kyle goes, yeah, but I think the Eagles will lose in close games. In a close game, going to be one or two dumb miscues, either the coaching or players' mistakes.
Yeah.
So when I look at the Eagles team, and you just mentioned the defense, it's great. They have something to build off of, beating, again, getting home on the Giants, and maybe that builds a little bit motivation for this team. But Joe Burrow, just like Baker Mayfield did. What did he do? He did film study. What do you have to do is release the rock fast within 2 seconds. So, and Joe Burrow, like you said, has weapons. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. He's got weapons. He can release that rock. Like you said, Jamar Chase, he'll find down the field. Again, he has over 600 yards in receiving.
Yeah.
He has 6 TDs under his belt. Chase Brown, it's something it's going to be tough to deal with. It's going to be, it could be a long day for the Birds. It's going to have, to me, this is going to be a shootout. And I don't know if Jalen Hurts has what it takes to go into a shootout. Now, like I said, to your statement to open up, Jalen Hurts does have his weapons too. He's got, A.J. Brown. He's got a security blanket, A.J. Brown. He's got Devontae Smith. He's got some playmaker of his own, but I think it's just
Dallas Goedert's back today, right? I believe he's playing.
I believe he's out still.
Is he out?
I believe I believe he's still out. I believe Jordan Mailata is still out. So again, that can hurt the Birds, but they're going to have to step up today. But if they do win today, I think I'm coming around to put on my green sunglasses. I think I'll be around because, like I said, if this team could win the shootouts, if Nick Sirianni is going to be calling plays, that and
Yeah.
if he could call it a good, come up with a good game plan, and just like I said, just this to me is going to be a Jalen Hurts game. He's got to be the deciding X factor. He's got to be mobile. He's going to have to,
Yeah.
create some plays. He's going to have to, find guys. Like I said, last week was great. Him finding AJ Brown deep was, throwing the long ball was great. Saquon Barkley taking big gouges out of his old team was great. But we're going to need like a replay of that today. Definitely today.
You're not going to get a replay of that, right? I think the Saquon Barkley game against the Giants was an anomaly. You're not going to see Nick Sirianni and this Philadelphia Eagles team run the ball 25 times a game. Not going to happen. If you expect it and you think it's going to happen, I call you delusional. They want to throw the ball. That's what this team was built on. That's what this coaching staff believes. That's what this organization believes from Howie Roseman down. They want to throw the ball. Jalen Hurts is not your prototypical quarterback that sits in the pocket, can go down to check 1, check 2, check 3. He's not going to read the defense that way. That's not Jalen Hurts. But what Jalen Hurts can do good is, hey, check 1, not there. Let's get out and go. Let's see him do that. Let's get him back to doing that. Coaching staff needs to allow this man to play like they drafted him to be, a out-of-the-pocket quarterback. That's what Jalen Hurts is. He's okay in the pocket, but he's better out of it. Put in some plays like the RPOs that got us to the Super Bowl and let him work on his best traits, which is check 1, run. Check 1, run. That's all he needs to worry about. If we want him to read and get down to check 3, this team's not going to succeed. Jalen Hurts is not going to succeed being that kind of quarterback.
No, and like I said, again, so his first check down is to look for where AJ Brown's at.
That's
and that's it. He's got one quick, I guess his read is to look where AJ Brown's at, find Devontae Smith. If he doesn't see something, like you said, he needs to take off. The RPO thing, all that's got to come into play. Saquon Barkley has, like I said, he's taking big gouges out of this. You got to switch things up. And, like I said, to beat a team like the Bengals, you're going to have to do everything in your power. Like I said, you're quick. Like you just said, be a mobile quarterback. Take over your legs. Find that open hole. Sprint out of danger. You're going to have to do all that. So it's going to be interesting to see what this Birds team could do against that Bengals team in Cincinnati. So, and like I said, big dominant win like I said, last week against the Giants. And for the defense side of the ball, guys like Nakobe Dean, who can step up. There's Georgia Bulldogs to come through.
Right.
You're going to need the guys to get home and get after Burrow because that's a quarterback you don't want to sleep on. Oh, my man Nick, what's up, buddy? The guy has his own show. Yeah, listen, this is like the Pat and John show, guys. And Nick, if you're down Ocean City, Maryland, Jersey, I keep on getting because I'm so down there. I'm down there in Maryland all the time. If you're down Ocean City, New Jersey, stop by All Campus Store. Give my man John a check. And listen, he said, you check out the show, man, you're getting a discount. So listen, come check him out. Great guy. Nick, thanks for checking out the show. But yeah, it's going to be fun to me to see what the Birds can do. Do they have enough to get through this team? Kyle says teams haven't been counted as countering Birds well this season. Yeah, listen. And they've been countering Hurts all season. I love the All Campus Store. It's the next to the player. You're right.
Appreciate that, Nick. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. I bought a Phillies hat out of there last summer. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep on coming down there. So, Nick, and of course, everyone watching, what's your predictions for this Birds team? We want to know. Oh, Calvin.
There's my son.
Oh, what's up, buddy? What's up, Junior? So again, the Birds though have to put a big. Like I said, I don't like you just said, rather. I don't think you're going to get that same repeat win. If they can,
No.
if they win by like Mike said earlier, if they put up 34 points against this Bengals team,
It's a lot.
listen, it's a lot you're asking for. That's a lot you're asking
Yeah.
for. It's a tall order you're asking for
Yeah.
this Birds team. So I'll be surprised if they could do that. But again, it's the play calling to me that needs to be better. Wow, the people having the Birds winning 28-20 Eagles win. I like it, Nick. I like it.
I like that. I think that I'm right around there. I'm 27-24. That's what I got of that. I got it's losing, but I think it's going to be a good game. You said the defense, Pat. There's one guy I'm kind of looking at, and I'm hoping he gets a little bit more of a run now that he's healthy. But Sidney Brown is a guy that I would really like to see at the top of this safety defense here. I think he could be that cover safety that we don't have. Reed Blankenship is great, but he's more of a freelance guy. He's more of a roamer. You're not locking him down with anyone. Sidney Brown is that guy, right, that can lock down on those tight ends. And we got a good tight end, Mike Gesicki, that we're going to be facing today, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Sidney Brown get a little bit more playing time. I'm hoping that he's healthy enough that they give him a chance to really win that job back.
Right. And Nick saying Saquon just needs to do his thing. And like you just said, the defense, like I said, they're solid. Like you said, win your job back today. You got to make come up with some big stops. Again, hopefully it's turning, make some interceptions. It's like I said, it's going to be interesting to me. We'll see what this team can do today. Again, what a day though for Philadelphia sports. Though you have the Eagles at 1, the Sixers at 3:30, then the Flyers at 7. I mean, hey guys, this is a perfect day to schmo on the couch, kick your feet up, have some hot cocoa, and just chill and watch some great football. And all three Philadelphia sports will be clicking on it today. So, but yeah.
And if anyone is going to be at the game, Flyers game tonight, stop on in, give us a call, give us a shout on Facebook or Instagram or something. Let us know you're going to be there. Let's get together. Me and Pat are going to be at the game tonight.
Right. So, John, where can people, though, before we close out, what's your final thoughts and where can people find you?
Yeah, All Campus OC. That's all my Twitter, my Instagram, Facebook. That's where you can find me. That's my website, allcampusoc.com. Right now, I believe the website's down. We're doing a little maintenance on it at the end of the season. So we will get that back up, hopefully by the end of New Year's. But yeah, stop on in, guys. I have over 500 different colleges in here. Every single professional team, except for one, Pat. There is one team you cannot pay me enough to sell in this store.
And what's that?
Dallas Cowboys will never be in All Campus. Can't have it. I don't care if someone offers me $1 million. I have morals, and that team will not be in this store. But yeah, we have the Negro League here. We got all the custom hats that we have. Come check them out. All my custom hats, you can only buy them here at All Campus, guys. They're real special. They're part of our Ocean Sea Boardwalk Pack that we did the last couple of years. So come check them out. There's only 144 of them. Most of them are already sold out by now.
You have Sixers fan checking in. I've been
Appreciate
there before.
It, man. Thank
Great
you.
Store. Absolutely. Yeah, listen, at least you have morals because I have none. I don't even have a clue. But listen, for me, I think the Birds do get a win. The people have won me over. I had this as a check mark.
Okay.
The people have won me over. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a game. I'm thinking maybe a 21-17 kind of win the Birds will take.
Oh, you think it's a little dogfight?
Yeah, a little bit. So I got the Birds going to take a big time W. But again, you're going to fall. What that would make you, like I said, you're looking like a playoff caliber team. Then your November gets a little heavier as far as contenders and all that stuff. But again, still, I mean, that's a good build-up win for the Birds. But guys, listen, for me, Pat Bernard, again, guys, you can follow me on Twitter. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'll be there 24/21. Yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
yeah. So, guys, again, check us out right here on the StreamPunk Entertainment. Yeah, Sixers frame will be missed. Yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. No Cowboy stuff. So yeah, anytime you guys again come to all campus, check out my man John Coyle. Great guy. So guys, for me, I think the Birds win, but guys, this is our first episode recorded here on the StreamPunk Entertainment. Guys, we will catch you next week. Same time, get your eggs, scrapple, whatever you got, and come join us. Guys, have a good one.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.